Heidelberg Township, January, Supervisors. Come to order. Just did pledge the flag, so we're good there.
We already pledged the flag, so I think we're good there. I'm going to acknowledge the declaration of the quorum. And
I have a motion to amend the agenda. The agenda has been improperly posted. The agenda was posted on Thursday as a meeting agenda. Then, today, it was posted as an amended agenda. Maybe it was posted Thursday. The only way an agenda can be amended is by a majority vote of the Board of Supervisors in a public meeting. So this agenda being put forth as amended was amended improperly, and therefore we have no agenda. My motion to amend the agenda is that the Board of Supervisors advertise for a regular supervisors meeting on Wednesday, January 17th at 6 o'clock.
We prepared the agenda. We put the agenda on the website. We had till noon yesterday to post the final agenda. What we did is we had to add a resolution and for the engineer so that we could bid out on the street payment that we want to award in February. After consulting with the attorney, as you just did, Paul, he told us that we can amend the agenda up till noon yesterday. We did that, reposted it at 1:30 last Thursday, so we met all the criteria for putting the agenda. We marked it and amended so everybody would know what was added, since we had already posted a half hour before without those two items on it, just so everybody was clear on what we added.
okay, so that motion died on lack of a second. I might want to add that, Paul, you're adding a stain here.
You're not.
Yeah. All right, public comment for the real meeting. Please, one at a time, come to the podium, location, all that stuff. Anybody coming up? Okay.
I'm Peg Moulton, Laurel Woods Lane. I am your Heidelberg Township representative of the York County Rail Trail Authority for the Heidelberg Trolley Trail Development. As usual, I have my map over here, and I will be available after the meeting to talk to folks, answer questions, clarify things, but the most important thing is that I want to announce that there is an open house for everybody, but I especially want to include and make sure that all of you here at Heidelberg Township come. This will be on January 17th at 4 to 6 p.m. And this is going to be held at 18th, a Thursday the 8th, thank you. Thursday 18th from 4 to 6 p.m. And it is here in our township at the Baptist Church on Mangus Mills Road. They have graciously offered their auditorium as a beautiful facility for us to set up our different stations. You'll be able to meet the engineers, the designers, meet all of us that are part of the operation committee and planning committee for the development of the Heidelberg Trolley Trail. We are breaking ground and starting the development from Gitz Run Road to Jacobs Mill Road as soon as the weather breaks. There's a lot of funding issues which have been addressed. There's grants that have been granted to us, money's been raised, there's other things that we need to do, but this is happening right now, and it's so exciting. Those of you that might have been there at the open house last spring saw and got to see these professionals. These are all the different elements that take place to do something of this magnitude, so please come. And I encourage everybody, our supervisors, please come, all of us come. I will be there. And the people involved in the Rail Trail Authority who are also instrumental in doing this development will all be there. So it's exciting, and I really want you to be there, so please come. It's all good. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi, my name is Gloria Van Tassel, 6826 Cannon Court. What I've just seen here is just stunning. You have a group of people here who came and supported where, I've been to the planning meetings, I don't see you there, either of you. He comes prepared. He is the only person on the planning committee who knows what he's talking about, and that's very clear. Everyone else, if posed a question to them, they look to Barbara instead of knowing what they're there to do. Larry knows what he's doing. He comes there with his material and he answers questions. This is stunning. And all you have to do is just sit there looking smug. Disgusting.
All right, any other comments tonight? Bob?
This one. Bob Stein, 6327. Bob Stein, 6327 Squirrel Acres Road. The only thing I'd like to say, and I don't know Mr. Rohrwall at all, and I don't have any dog in this hunt, trust me. He could be the greatest guy in the world. I don't know. The only thing I'd like everyone else to understand in here is these gentlemen up here have a job to do, and part of that job is to appoint people. And that's what they do. They do that, I'm sure, with certain criteria when they look at individuals. I don't know why Larry wasn't chosen. I don't really care, I guess. But understand, everyone, these are appointed positions. I don't know that what they do behind closed doors with regard to how they make their choices is something that people should be upset that they don't come to or at a meeting like this, that they don't throw out exactly the reasons. I don't know the reasons, but these guys are doing the job of appointing someone. I respect everything that other people have said, and that's pretty much, I just wanted to get that out there.
Thanks, Bob. Renan, you didn't speak yet.
Renan Castillo, still from 686 Cannery Court. I think, not directly responding to Bob, but I do think that if it were the case that there had been an agreement reached between the board and Larry, and there had been an understanding that it was okay, then obviously none of this would come up. And nobody would be coming up here asking for reasons when no party wants them. This came as a surprise to the whole community, I think, and it is that reason why people have come to this meeting asking for answers as to what was the rationale. He is asking for a rationale. Everyone is asking for a rationale because we don't know what the rationale was. Now, he read into the comments here the mechanisms by which the recommendation from the board should have been taken in. I very quickly reviewed what he had brought here, and I don't see anything wrong with it. Essentially, what he said is very clear. the board was supposed to make a recommendation, and what I heard in response to my question, I hadn't yet reviewed that, right, that was during the prior session. What you guys said is that this had something to do with a comment he made during the December meeting. So what I'm interested in, separate question now, is was there a recommendation from the board not to appoint Terry again, or was it the issue of him speaking up at the last meeting and him being theoretically out of order? Although again, I recall no calling out of order that happened last meeting. He, as I saw, he got up because he was recognized and he spoke like everybody else, just like I am right now, except from the floor. But that happens all the time. So I didn't see any out of order situation here. You guys brought that up. What he brought up is that there was supposed to be a recommendation from the board. Did that happen, and what was the recommendation from the board? That's my question.
There was no recommendation from the board.
Is that a violation of procedure?
It can be, could be,
How are we gonna figure out if a violation of procedure occurred?
don't know.
Can you report at the next meeting, since you appear willing to answer questions? Can you report at the next meeting how this is going to be addressed?
I'll do what I can.
Or perhaps the board can speak? I don't know, where maybe you can call on someone from the board to speak here.
Well, I can tell you that regardless of what I find out, the appointment's been made. To reverse the appointment, I don't know how that could be done.
I am not asking for a reversal of the appointment. I am asking for answers as to what has happened. And how is it gonna be remedied moving forward? I understand that the appointment has been made.
Then the question would be posed to the person who prepared the agenda, who put the items on the agenda, because they would know why it was put on there. I wasn't consulted in any way, shape, or form about the agenda other than my one item.
I'm certain my time is up, however, I would like answers to these questions.
So this was the procedure. Phone call was made by Barb to me, said Tim had recommended Doug. Do I have a problem with that? I said absolutely not. Phone call, we hung up, enough said.
But it doesn't sound like that follows the
So what
procedure.
you just heard was a violation of the Sunshine Act.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Please, were you recognized? I don't believe you were. Anyone else ready to comment?
Folks, you asked a question, I gave you the answer, and you're still not, and then we get chastised with the answers. I don't know what else to say or do or tell yous, but, the chairman has an obligation to fill those positions. So that's why we elect the chairman.
All right. Yes.
Mark Kudak, 929 Porter's Road. I think the real issue here is respect, right? We're talking about a man who's dedicated
Please face the board.
his life and a lot of the stuff he's worked on for the community. He's been doing this job for many years, and to not give him the courtesy to really have an opportunity to continue on in this position, sit down with him, talk to him about the issues, and maybe he felt regret, or maybe he felt that he misspoke. I've seen all of us. We've all said some things over time. Tim, I've seen you get up, and scream at people. Even before I came to the township meetings, right? I mean, Tim's got a temper, right? So I just think that, focusing on and saying that this man isn't gonna get his position because something he said, we all do things. We're all human, right? And I just don't think it's the right message to send the community that we can't speak our minds. We can't tell you what we think, and we're gonna be retaliated on, and then kind of disrespected. He's just being disrespected. You know, all your service, goodbye.
You're supposed to
We don't need to say, hey, thanks a lot, you know? He gets nothing, and he just gets to be kind of shamed here at the township meeting. And I just really, I'm struggling with that, how we move on from that. I just think that the board here continues to ratchet things up in the community. And there's no end in sight on everything. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. I'm just kind of disappointed. And I think any one of us, Travis, I mean, who knows? 6 years, you're done, you know? Goodbye. We don't want you for 4 years, right? Well, you know, I just don't think it's a right thing. He's given his time to the community. You know, we all are going to be in this position. We just need to respect each other when it comes to these positions. So, do you think that we should be doing that? Respecting each other? Do you think that was handled properly? Giving his
I think we
service?
should be respecting each other,
Yeah.
including the respect of the board, which I get very little of, especially from you.
Okay, so what is that? You say I'm not respecting you, so that gives you the right to disrespect this man?
That has nothing to do with it, I can guarantee, nothing to do with it whatsoever. I made a decision based on my opinion of who I thought was best to be on the planning commission. That's why they're appointed every 4 years.
Okay,
That's
so,
why we haven't, they're not in permanent, they're every 4 years.
so is it a resume, or what's done with this thing? What's done? I mean, who's deciding? Who's the best man for the job? This guy's got a lot of
Supervisors
experience.
decide. We were elected.
But
to
he's got a lot of
decide.
experience, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. I don't see the other guys having this kind of experience. I certainly don't have this experience. Does anybody in the crowd have this kind of experience this man has?
Yes, time up. Yeah, thank you.
I'll get to
10 seconds.
So, no, I just think that we need to focus in on what the issue here is.
Mr. Chairman, is there a time limit?
There is, and it just happened. Yes, I am. Okay. Are we done with comments? Then you have to come up here and you have to give it.
Again, Stephanie Ennis, 6151 Acorn Drive. I'm just looking for, where do I go if I want to know what your bylaws are, what your constitution, whatever it is that we follow, protocols, procedures. Where do I go to do that? If I want to look at a document that says, this is how, yes, I know, you're my elected representative, I elected you to do a certain job. But I want to know, like, your responsibilities under those things that you're doing for me and for my community. Where do I look to see what those parameters are, what those policies and procedures are? Can you say that so I can hear?
Second class township code, you Google that in Pennsylvania second class township code, you will have every position and what their responsibilities and duties are.
Okay. Then quickly too, is there some place that says if someone who has been appointed speaks their mind and they're not 100% proper, they're not 100% respectful, they're not whatever, they don't follow your
Of course not,
guidelines?
of course not.
Okay, so
It says that the planning commission members are reappointed every 4 years. That's what it says.
All right, so I'm just curious.
Yep, okay. Yes.
Is it on? Pat Parrish off road. I just want to address the issue that's been brought up many times on every level about everyone getting along and trying to be peaceful. I mean, even sitting here tonight, the comments behind me, around me, negative, everything negative. I understand that tonight is an emotional time for Larry. I'm sorry about that, but if everyone is expecting us to be respectful to each other, they need to be respectful of our board. They don't have to like the decisions that you make. I mean, I've been in that position with you guys in the past before. But we have to live with the decisions that you make. There has been so much dissension with the election And it is never gonna stop because people don't like the results, so they're just gonna keep beating up on it. Unfortunately, one of them's one of the supervisors. The others are the people who ran against you. I'm really sick and tired of it. A perfect example, the need to have to video everything to catch every little mistake that you guys might make. To question every single thing. If we're gonna all get along, then let's do it. You don't have to like the decisions. That's everyday life. Everybody needs to get along. The last meeting, I got up and I spoke, and a particular person screamed out in the middle of a meeting, "You're crazy." That was really, really classy. And it shows exactly what kind of people behave that way. Darn lucky I didn't take it legal, because I had a whole building here who heard it happen. So if you really mean you all want to get along, then let's do it. Stop faking it.
Yes, thank you. Please. Okay. Can we move on with the meeting? Good. All right, we'll do that. Let's see, I have I have a motion to make on the approval of December Board of Supervisors meeting minutes. Do I have a second to approve those meeting minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, in the communication, if you got Christmas trees you want to recycle, York County, the Solid Waste Authority is handling that. Apparently, they're H&H are the ones taking them. So I don't know if they could just take them over to H&H. Yeah. So you guys know where that is, over Old Hanover Road. No ornaments or tinsel or anything. Statement of financial interest forms were handed out to the supervisors. We need to have those completed and sent back by May 1st, 2024. And I see we have the drought watch remains. I believe the drought watch is still on, but the burn ban is off, right, Chris?
Burn ban's off, please use your head.
Yep. Okay, so you're up, Chris.
For the month of December, 15 calls, 9 of them in Heidelberg, 3 in West Mannheim, 1 in North Cadorus, 1 in Paradise, 1 in Mannheim. Totaled us out to 227 calls for 2023, with 92 of them being here in Heidelberg Township. Last month, we were dispatched on 3 residential structure fires, 1 high-risk structure fire, 1 fire alarm, 2 gas leaks inside, 2 brush fires, 4 woods fires, 1 crash with injuries, 1 illegal controlled burn, 1 structural collapse, 1 fire police call, and 2 medical assists. We were canceled en route 4 times. We went to work twice. We were not canceled prior to response at all, and we had no failed responses for the year, or for the month. That left us at 2 for the year. We went to work. We fought fire or cut cars 30 times over the last year. Engine 1 was out 6 times for the month, 110 times for the year. Engine 2 was out 5 times for the month, 61 times for the year. The car was not out at all because it's out of service for sale, awaiting repair. That was stated 57 calls for the year. The brush truck was out twice for 34 calls for the year. And UTV had 1 call, which gave it 10 for the year. I had 6 members for maintenance night for 12 man hours. I averaged 4 per call, which held us at 6 for the year. Fuel reports attached. For the year, out of 227 calls, our top 10, Dean Warner ran 134 of the calls. I was number 2 with 127. Matt Blouse with 110. Jim McDonald Jr. with 100. Austin Dahl with 92. Bob Wilkes with 91. Jim McDonald Sr. with 83. Drew Welsh with 50. Dave Miller with 48. And Mike Brown with 41. We had no fire loss for the year. Residential fire loss for the year in the township. We hope to keep it that way next year. We were honored for survey last year, and we're looking forward to doing it again next year.
Any questions for Chris? Thank you for your service, Chris.
Chris, we're gonna have to get you a new hat rack. You're the fire chief, you're the code enforcement officer, you're the assistant roadmaster. Thank you so much for that. And I wanted to say that as the code enforcement officer, that's a very sensitive job. And I think you bring all the sensitivity necessary for that position. So thank you for your help.
Thank you for your service.
And since we're on emergency services here, there's a young man in the very back of the room. I'd like everybody to recognize him tonight for his service for over 65 loyal years to the residents of Heidelberg Township. Cletus Wentz. Years. What an amazing feat, and he's still here. I would like the board to consider next month a resolution to honor him for all them years.
Absolutely, we'll consider that. Thank you. Okay. We don't have a police report tonight, I guess, because they left. Yeah. So.
We submitted 2 permits and collected $60 in December.
And I'd like to make the motion to approve the preliminary/final subdivision plan for Mary S. Sterner Estate, 6520 Sterner Drive, Spring Grove, PA, drawn up by Hanover Land Services, Doug Stumble, who's with us tonight. It has been reviewed and is ready for signature, so do I hear a second for approving the plan?
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll sign it.
Mr. Chairman, one correction, I'm with GHI.
Oh, I'm sorry. I always mess that. I'm sorry, Doug. Yeah, GH. Group Hanover.
Group A, correct.
Yes.
Thank you.
Code enforcement. I'd like to make a motion to accept the December report of the code enforcement officer. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
No.
No. I'd like to make a motion to approve November's treasurer's report. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And a motion to approve December bills paid report. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
No. Accept December office maintenance activity report. Make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And a motion to accept the right to know request report, which consisted of no new requests in December. That's good. 1 voided by applicant, 7 completed in December from previous months. There were no additional 30-day response requirements. 0 were due in January. 3 received right to know appeals. So we've got 3 appeals. Now that's 5 as of today, appeals to our earlier responses, bringing us to township solicitor costs of $2,900.76. And 52 hours by our right to know staff here. So it's still working, and but we're down to 0 for the rest of this month. So hopefully the trend continues. Just a report on the roads. We cleared a down tree on Wilson, evaluated drainage issues in Gladco Lodge, a trolley, and the High Rock. Ordered the new road signs for Gardner and Dagan. And I'd like to make a motion to authorize C.S. Davison to advertise for public bids for the 2024 street improvement projects. That'll be through Penn Bid. And the bid opening will be 2/7/24. Second?
Second that motion.
Oh,
Discussion?
yep.
What are we bidding on?
I believe it is bidding on the improvement projects, which, do you have a comment on that?
I can comment, I explained it to her earlier.
Yes, when the budget was approved, you approved a 5-year plan. We incorporated the first year plan into the budget, which spells out what, is being bid on. It has to do with, Shelburne and Liberty Road, Acorn and Van Cleef. And that was all put in the budget and spelled out in the budget.
So,
And you had attached to that budget the recommendation from the engineer, which described in detail what they would be bidding out.
so Oakwood Drive has 2 options on the report. Option
Correct.
1 and option 2. Which
Correct.
one are we bidding out?
I believe it was option 1, which we discussed at the budget meeting, and that's what I spelled out we were placing in the budget for next year's improvements.
And with Liberty and Shelburne, we're just bidding out the 1 year, the first year project?
Again, as was explained when we did the budget meeting at the November meeting, it has to be done in 2 phases, 2 separate years for what is being done. So you are correct, year 1 is being done in '24, and year 2 will be budgeted, as projected in '25.
So you take the Van Cleve, 38,000, option 1, 21,000, first year, 88,000, and you're at 147,000. That's what we budgeted for the roads. So if we get the PIB loan of 300,000, we're 138,000 short on High Rock Road, and we don't have any money set aside for Laurel Woods drainage. So I don't understand how this can all be justified by referring to the budget.
It can be because, as I explained at the budget meeting, there is money put into the COVID fund for drainage issues. We also described, I also explained that the PIB loan, High Rock Road is not budgeted because we do not have sufficient funds to even look at a 5-year plan to cover High Rock, which is why we will be applying for a PIB loan, which I already started, and we'll be meeting again with PennDOT to try and complete the process and get a PIB loan approved.
Ever since I've been here, I've always seen the bids before we vote on advertising.
Now, you get the bids once they're
Excuse me.
done. Huh?
Ever since I've been here, I've seen the bids that we advertise
Well,
prior to advertising.
ever since I've been here, I can remember the timber, bids that were sent out that I never saw ahead of time, except for at the night of the meeting, they were approved. I mean, there was other, instances as well, and the proper process is to authorize your engineer to prepare them so that the bid specs can be written, based on his recommendation, and we can make sure that the roads are completed properly. You will have an opportunity to see every bid prior to awarding anything.
Okay, thank you. Did I hear a second on that motion? And so, there was discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
No.
Okay. Nothing from the solicitor. Now we're moving to supervisors, me, motion authorizing the chairman, myself, to execute the engagement and representation agreement with Tim Schultes, Salzman Hughes, PC. Basically to hire, Tim Schultes for another year. Do I hear a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to approve resolution 2024-01, tax rates for 2024, which will stay the same as they did in 23. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve resolution 2024-02 for the fee schedule for 2024. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Discussion?
Yes.
On the fee schedule, I don't see the fee for the, I believe it's the, code enforcement officer. code enforcement officer that we just appointed is not on the fee schedule.
The code enforcement officer, it is on the fee schedule. You have it under, the building zoning permits. You also have it under the building permits, the zoning fees, subdivision fees, all that is incorporated into his fee. And what is charged to the individual to accomplish these items or to submit a plan, covers his fee. You, addressed his hourly rate, or you will address his hourly rate, on the next resolution, which, sets, well, no, we did that. We set the salary. He is, will receive the salary, that he's currently now, while he's under training, then the board will have to look at whether or not they want to increase it.
So is the trainer being paid?
No, we will be utilizing, the code enforcement officer from Jackson Township. I spoke to the manager there. I also spoke to the code enforcement officer of Paradise Township, who used to be Heidelberg's code enforcement officer, zoning officer, who is very familiar with the documents we currently have, as well as myself. So yes, technically I'll be paid, the other two are not. But I plan on doing very little as I have no time.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Barb. Where were we? That brings us back to the, resolution for the fee schedule. We need to vote on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to approve resolution 2024-03, setting wage rates for employees and appointees. Do we hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to approve resolution 2024-04 for submission to the York County Planning Commission for the submission of a community development block grant program to conduct water service feasibility study for $20,000. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, turn it over to Matt.
Okay, you're looking for a motion tonight to enter into an annual contract agreement with Laboratory Analytical and Biological Services to provide water testing as required by DEP for the water system.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Discussion. Are we using them this year?
Yes.
So is there an increase in their fees?
I would imagine there would be.
Okay, that's all.
You had the fee schedule in front of you.
Thank you for the answer.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
It's your very last page.
It's the last page.
It's $30 is what we were paying last year for the first item. I do know that.
Yeah, I know on the wastewater side, everything did go up a little bit, so I'm assuming it did go up here. This would be pretty much our only option. The other, laboratory, MJ Readers, I think they're in Reading. They don't have a really good track history, and these folks get good turnaround on, sampling. So we had a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Water Committee, grant applications are being submitted under the CDBG program. Again, we are accepting volunteer applications to create a water committee to assist with the needs and assessment for the water company. So, last call, everybody, get your forms in, talk to Barb, we wanna get this thing going.
Well, I know that's under Matt's agenda item, but I don't see at this point the purpose of the water committee if the grants are already being written. What are the What is the water committee gonna do?
It says right there.
The grant's being written so we can get $20,000 so that the, planning, individuals out of, the county can come down and work with our water committee to do a needs assessment. That will give us the $20,000 we need to accomplish that and get it written properly.
Thanks, Barb.
Was there, you said there was a grant, I'm confused, was there a grant you said that we applied for related to the water a couple months back for security? And now there's a feasibility study? What's the difference in those?
Yes, we applied for a grant through the Small Games of Chances, so that we could get security, we could get a fence, a backup generator, and some security lighting that we needed to secure the water.
Feasibility is to make sure it's good? Or?
No, the feasibility is to help us determine how we move forward, whether we need another well, a wet well, yeah, so that we can assure that we have adequate water for future needs.
Okay, back to Matt.
Okay, again, please get your, interest, applications in. And then,
We've had several people respond already, desiring to be on the water committee. So, and many, and I believe all of them are here. I don't know why is it gonna be a committee of 3, 5, 7 people? How many more applications are we looking for?
well, we're looking for about 5, I would think, but 3 would do. Is there 5 here? Is there 5 hands tonight? Do we have those 5 here? 3, 4.
Yeah. You guys both both have applications in?
Paul's still on my team.
He's an alternate.
Oh, that's right.
Heather Altland, I know, had.
Yeah, Heather Altland.
She dropped that off today.
I mean, well, that was back before.
Yeah, she had
We
it
had talked
before.
about all
When
this.
you started talking about it, she said she was interested.
Yeah.
The gentleman from High Rock Road too.
He's right behind the podium.
Oh, I can't see him. There you go. Okay, good.
We should be able to name it next month.
Well, I have 2, and I just got Heather's today,
All right, so there's 3.
so
Yep, next month.
if you want a committee of 5, you don't have enough.
Yeah.
So,
We'll start with 3. That's enough to get going.
so we'll address it next month.
Yep.
The rec park.
Wait a minute, we didn't vote on that.
I don't think we can vote on it, Paul.
I'm so,
So we just have a discussion of what we're doing.
Yep.
Under
we
the,
don't have to vote on the grant application.
No, he was just explaining where we were at.
I was just explaining where the
Okay.
process is.
All right.
Okay, the rec park board. Again, I know we have interested people, names, out there. We do need you to get the information directly to Barb so she knows, and just doesn't hear it by hearsay. We wanna get that name too by next month. And I guess Paul wants to speak of it too, but I can hand it over to you.
Thank you. No, I don't have anything to speak on the rec board, except that, again, we have many names that have already been submitted. I'll move on to my agenda item then.
Yep.
Authorize the attorney to draw a resolution to be prepared to increase by $30 a quarter the fee added to the Heidelberg Water Company customers' quarterly bill. This will be $10 a month, $120 a year if the prices for our lab work are increasing, and our prices for our labor is increasing. We need to keep pace with that increase. So I asked the board to authorize Mr. Schultes to draw a resolution to increase the quarterly fee by $30.
So that, what would that bring the total monthly fee to?
Well, we bill quarterly, and right now the base charge, I believe, is 76 something. So if we add 32, the base charge would come up to 106. You currently have a $50 quarter charge, so this would up that charge to $80.
And, year-end budget, what are we looking
Oh, you asked me something I don't have.
Well, we had increased the fee last year
Correct.
to set aside, or to hopefully set aside $5,000 in reserve funds.
No, we increased it to cover the cost of the budget. That was worked into the budget to make the budget balance for water. It was never designated to save anything. Now, I do believe you're gonna find the water might be slightly in the red for next year. Oh, I agree, you need the increase. Absolutely.
Just wanna make sure we've had some discussion on it.
Yeah.
Was that a motion, Paul?
You can't make a motion. Well, you can authorize the solicitor, yeah. And then, yeah.
Is that the consistent with other, like Hanover water, is that really high compared to other water levels, or?
No.
They come down? What kind of cheap?
Your quarter would be 4 times.
Oh.
Hanover Borough would be. Hanover Borough's, for the borough residents is around what we're looking at doing. If you're not a borough resident, yes, that's cheap.
So, I think we need a motion.
Okay. I make a motion to authorize the solicitor to draw up a resolution to increase the quarterly water bill by $30 a customer
Per quarter.
per quarter, quarterly water bill.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I do, we prepare it and start in the second quarter, so we know what to put in the resolution? You good with that?
That's,
Okay.
however, you can't send it in the middle of a quarter, so it has to.
Well, you could prorate it, but that's.
No.
Yeah, I'm fine. Clarifying.
Okay, moving on,
Right.
old business, we paid the bill for the accountant, $650 from Miller, Brown, Ohm and Associates. That was for 4 months of payroll preparation, tax returns, and QuickBooks accounting. No new business before the board. Upcoming meeting, zoning hearing board, January 30, 2024, 7 p.m. Board supervisor, regular scheduled meeting, February 7, 2024, 6 p.m. And planning commission, January 10, 2024, 6 p.m. And with that, I'd like to make the motion to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?